What's a video that lives in your head rent-free?
Gabrielle will always be here.
Autolycus,
huh?
Get your hand off my butt.
Oh!
On our last episode, we saw Xena get mortally wounded by some yellow people who we never saw again. She flashed back to 10 years earlier when she survived crucifixion at the hands of Julius Caesar himself. Then she died, but resolved to come back the moment she heard Gabrielle praying for her. But how will she do it, I hear you ask? Turns out her plan involves a big red gummy and the King of Thieves himself, played by Bruce Campbell.
Oh, another day, another defilement.
Welcome back to Warrior Princess Playback. Let's get started. So some time has passed and Gabrielle is suffering. Xena is dead, but she now has a beautiful coffin that matches her armor. So that's nice. Gabrielle is taking Xena's body back to her hometown of Amphipolis, where she can be buried beside her late brother. It's not the easiest of journeys, however, because it turns out that a Xena corpse is a valuable object.
Xena's dead body is worth a lot of money.
Who knew? A fight kicks off and Gabrielle does quite a good job of fending them off.
You just made an enemy.
What a coincidence. So have you.
Here we get a quick cameo from Iolaus, Hercules' sidekick, who has a slightly complicated relationship with Xena.
She's using you to get to me. Quit talking and get a weapon.
He's here to be surprised that Xena's gone, I think. There's a lot of hugging, and then Iolaus runs off back to Hercules, and Gabrielle carries on with her journey. Some Amazons arrive to pay their respect, and look, it's Ephany! We saw her back in our very first Warrior Princess Playback episode where Xena delivered her centaur baby. This other Amazon lady seems a bit pushy. She steps in and demands that Gabrielle let them do an Amazon-style cremation. This lady is Velasca, and she's filling in as the Amazon Queen now, it turns out, because she challenged the last queen to a fight to the death and won. So she's the temporary Amazon Queen.
But it doesn't really matter now that the Amazon Princess has returned.
Oops, did I forget to mention that Gabrielle is technically an Amazon princess?
And by Amazon rights, the mask of queenhood is, of course, yours.
My bad.
Come home with us, Gabrielle. You can decide what to do later.
Xena's body is getting deader by the day, but sure, let's take a detour and visit the Amazons. Meanwhile, there's a heist going down. This is the Dagger of Helios. A mysterious thief causes a commotion by using a barely visible wire to knock it over, then hides in the cupboard while the guards kick everyone out. This master at work is Autolycus, the King of Thieves, played by the one and only Bruce Campbell. He's another crossover character from Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, and he shows up in season 1 of Xena, where he helped Xena steal the Ark of the Covenant. That was a fun one. As he goes to make his escape, we hear a strange noise and something seems to take over his body. Kudos to Bruce Campbell for this excellent slapstick. Whatever is possessing him won't let him leave until he gets this little book out of this broken statue, and he only makes it out of there in the nick of time. Meanwhile, Gabrielle thinks this Velasca person seems a bit aggressive. Ephany tells her that Velasca is bad news because she wants to make war with the centaurs across the river. This is a big problem for Ephany because she has a centaur son who... I guess they didn't have the budget to try and put him in this episode, but he's around somewhere. Anyway, Ephany's pretty desperate for Gabrielle to take her place as Amazon Queen so they don't have to have the warmonger. Velasca also pulls her aside for a chat and says basically the exact opposite. What's an Amazon princess to do? Meanwhile,
Choose the one drink you wouldn't give your worst enemy and give me a double.
Autolycus is trying to get drunk so he can forget all of the spooky nonsense, but his ghost friend has other ideas.
I need you so.
Who said that?
At this point, Xena seems to figure out how to talk to the person she's possessing, which means she can just tell Autolycus what she needs.
I want you to steal my dead body from the Amazons.
Xena drags him to a barrel so that her ghost reflection can have a chat with him and explain the plan. They're going to steal her body back from the Amazons, then take it to where they can get some ambrosia, which will bring her body back to life. Solid. Back at the Amazon village, Gabrielle's made up her mind.
Xena will have an Amazon funeral.
She's going to cremate Xena, take the ashes back to Xena's hometown, then come back and be Amazon Queen. Also, Amazons like those bearded curtains from the 70s, turns out. Hey, this person's a little tall for an Amazon. Surprise! It's Autolycus in drag. While the ceremony begins, he breaks into the hut where they're keeping Xena's body, bickering with Xena all the while.
You know, losing your body has done nothing to improve your patience, has it?
Gabrielle goes to put the mask of the queen on, and Velasca has a temper tantrum.
This is ridiculous!
Gabrielle tells her to shut up and puts the mask on anyway. Good girl. Then she steals a moment alone with Xena's body to say goodbye.
And I won't say goodbye to you, Xena.
To not say goodbye.
Because we'll be together again.
Autolycus breaks in and is quickly caught in the act.
I have a very good explanation.
Don't try and explain, Autolycus.
He tries to explain, and that goes over about as well as you'd expect.
Put him in jail.
Now it's time for the funeral. I love how they don't even bother showing Autolycus breaking out of his cell, because of course he did, you don't need to tell us. Now it's time to hurry up and rescue Xena's body before it gets too crispy.
Let go and hold on.
Let go and hold on.
Autolycus busts out some familiar moves and Gabrielle recognizes them right away.
It can't be.
And if that wasn't enough, Argo the horse actually comes running when he whistles, and nobody but Xena could pull off a chakram throw like this.
It is Xena.
I love how terrified he looks when he catches it. Autolycus rides off with the coffin and Gabrielle hitches a ride. Velasca has no chill and immediately organizes a war party to go after them, even though I'm not really sure what crime they're guilty of.
He betrayed us! I want Gabrielle dead, you hear me?
Okay, Beyonce, calm down, Beyonce.
So having inadvertently caused an Amazon civil war, Autolycus and Gabrielle stop to rest, and Gabrielle understandably has a few questions. Xena takes over his body to answer them.
Yes, Gabrielle, it's me.
When Gabrielle closes her eyes, she's face to face with the actual Xena, and she starts to cry. Aww. Then Xena explains the plan to bring her body back to life with ambrosia. By the way, in the UK, ambrosia is a brand of dessert food, and every time they mention it in this episode, my mind just pictures rice pudding. Anyway, so Xena's plan is to— oh my god, they're kissing! Which also means that Gabrielle and Autolycus are kissing. Awkward.
Get your hand off my butt.
Now it's a race to the secret cave to get the ambrosia. This place looks like a pretty typical dungeon level from a video game. It's got fire, spikes, climbable vines, and solvable puzzles. Speaking of which, doesn't that rock look like the dagger Autolycus stole at the beginning? Oh, also Velasca's here.
Where is the food of the gods?
Xena tries to fight her, but her ghost is getting too weak. Cut to Autolycus being interrogated and frankly enjoying it a bit too much. Velasca wants to know where the ambrosia is. Actually, she seems like she's enjoying it too.
I like pain. I like what it does to people, and I like what it makes people do.
This might be where a safe word comes in handy, Autolycus. Anyway, Velasca finds the dagger and puts it all together.
This is the key.
Hey, I paid for an hour.
Back in Amazon jail, Gabrielle gives everyone a rousing pep talk about not giving up, and Autolycus borrows a bit of someone's bra to pick the lock so they can escape.
Hold it.
It's kind of pitiful that they only left 2 guards when it was blatantly obvious Autolycus was going to escape the jail a second time. Meanwhile, Velasca's gone back to the cave and she's ready to get that ambrosia. Gabrielle and Autolycus are right behind her. Autolycus is too injured to climb, so Gabrielle has to do it. Luckily, the spirit of Xena is back for one last push.
Let me guess. Xena, right?
Yes.
Now it's a race to the top, and Renee O'Connor is doing a great job of making that Xena face where she looks like she's enjoying all the fighting just a bit too much. Velasca makes it to the top and puts the dagger in the slot, releasing the ambrosia, which is a giant gummy, which she immediately drops in the fire thanks to Gabrielle giving the vine a bit of a shake. Furious, she goes to attack Gabrielle, who cuts the vine and sends her plummeting down onto the spikes below. Should we give that our Smackdown of the week? I guess we will. It's not really a very Smackdown heavy episode, honestly. Let's make it official. Smackdown of the week! Ebony arrives with Xena's body, and luckily Gabrielle finds one last little bit of gummy in her bra. They feed it to a remarkably well-preserved Xena, and what do you know? She's back! As they leave the cave, one more piece of gummy falls down from the ceiling, and we see a dying Velasca reach out for it. Back outside, Gabrielle thanks Autolycus for everything he's done for Xena. And why is Xena sharpening her sword? She hasn't used it all episode. Anyway, Autolycus tells her she's welcome for getting to live the Autolycus experience.
You don't often let people see who you really are either. I was in there. I know.
Wait, she could hear his thoughts? No wonder she made him punch himself in the face. So Autolycus goes off on his merry way, but we'll see him again, especially now that Xena owes him a favor.
Promise me that you'll never die on me again.
Oh, I promise.
Anyway, Xena's back to life. She and Gabrielle are reunited, and they probably don't have to worry about having unleashed a vengeful Amazon goddess on the world. Oh. First of all, Bruce Campbell is a slapstick genius. Autolycus is one of my all-time fave recurring characters, and there are so many great moments here. Throwing the chakram and being terrified of it coming back, punching himself in the face, dragging himself around by the collar. I love it! The one gaping flaw in this episode is obviously that there's not enough Xena, but that's because Lucy Lawless was recovering from a pelvis injury at the time. It was fun to catch up with the Amazons and to get a bit more of a glimpse into their world, and though we don't see a ton of Alaska, she really is a pretty great villain. 3.5 chakrams out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like my videos, go ahead and click subscribe. There's lots more on the way. If there's an episode of Xena you'd like me to review next time, go ahead and let me know in the comments. See you next time, folks.